First of all, Beyonce is a terrible fucking actor. We know that shit's rigged. Oh my god, I won. Come on. Second, if I can find a clip later, I will put it up. Did you see the look on Billy's face? That was tears of frustration. She was frustrated because it's like, what the fuck? Beyonce has enough. She has enough credentials. And I was sitting there thinking, oh, it's going to be Chaperone, probably Charlie XCX, or Billy. And then, of course, they call Beyonce. The look on Billy's face just really said it all. And this is not hate. I love that there's Black representation in country music now. I really do. But with how insanely popular Brat was, Hit Me Hard and Soft was, and Midwest Princess was, I don't fucking believe it. I don't believe it. I'm sorry. I'm not buying it. Don't get me wrong. I used to love Beyonce. I loved, and I still do love everything that she stands for. And I love that she is a beacon to so many Black women out there. And I think that that is so amazing. But it will never, ever, ever sit right with me that she supposedly is for all of this liberation, but she has not said a word about Pally and has backed that happening, has backed the of thousands of innocent people, children. She actually physically backed it. And like I said, she's a billionaire. She hoards resources. She hoards money. She doesn't redistribute her wealth like she should. If she did, she wouldn't be a billionaire. If she did, her community wouldn't be struggling as much. So I don't have respect for Beyonce anymore. I'm sorry. She's too powerful. She has too much money. She has too much influence. And she doesn't need any more fucking awards. With that being said, side note, I have to throw this in there. The Quincy Jones tribute was my absolute favorite part, and I will not accept a Grammys that is not in February from this day forward, period. Thank you so much.
Being Black, maybe that's the reason why they always mad. Yeah, they always mad, yeah.
So Beyonce, the queen that you are. So these are apparently the highest grossing tours of all time, and Beyonce's Renaissance World Tour being at number 10. But let me tell you why it's number 1. Look how many shows it took to get to 579 million. 56 shows. Everybody else on this list has close to or over 100 shows just to cusp what Beyonce made from doing half of that. What is the highest grossing world tour if you have to do 140 shows to do it? Yet Beyonce's going around here doing 59 shows, making that and more. And I saw someone say it's a difference between the greatest pop star of all time and the biggest pop star of all time. Numbers wise, we can call Taylor Swift the biggest pop star of all time. There are a lot of factors that key into why she is, and I think we all know what that is. But the greatest to ever do it. The greatest to ever do it. She literally has to put in so much minimal effort to get a plethora of what everybody else is getting because she is Beyonce. Please do not underestimate this woman's power. This is not the shit on any of these people because I love all these artists. I really, really do. But it's no comparison. We are talking about a 59-show world tour. World tour. While everyone else is doing 100 plus more shows to reach where Beyonce has already made. That's the greatest pop star of all time.
Fact is, Beyonce does not have to do anything but to exist to get the attention of many people, and that's just strange, really strange to think about. Sincerely. And it's really interesting how these people think that Beyonce is deserving, but not really that deserving, really. And I wanted to share a perspective, and it's going to come from a white woman. It's a 9 minutes part video, and the only reason I wanted to share this is so that we can explore in depth the aspects of the conversations as well, and how things work, really, because it's really interesting when we look at things and how we see Beyonce being treated the way that she's treated. She's a legend and she deserves to be treated like a legend, basically.
Question: if the Grammys is so rigged because Beyonce won for Cowboy Carter, why wasn't your people screaming that it was rigged when Taylor Swift won Album of the Year so many times when her album didn't come close to the other albums that she was competing with, i.e. Lemonade, Self-Titled, or Renaissance? Because those albums should have won Album of the Year. I didn't see you crying and complaining about it then, right? Bratz was a phenomenal album, and it brought electronic music back to the forefront, but it wasn't as generational and it wasn't as important as that Cowboy Carter album. That Cowboy Carter album literally was Beyonce saying, hey, black people, let's take country music back to our roots, back to where it belonged, which is black people. You as a white woman who claims you support the black community and try to uplift the voices of the black community should know that. But no, your white side came out, your inner racism came out, and you don't even realize it. And also, you say that Beyonce didn't speak up for the pro-Pally movement. Instead of worrying about what a black woman is saying or speaking up about, maybe you should make sure that white supremacists in the pro-Pally movement are being checked for their racism and anti-blackness. Or matter of fact, non-black people as a whole in the pro-Pally movement, maybe you as a white woman should uplift your voice and be like, hey, pro-Pally movement, maybe we should stop being anti-black. So until you collect your people in that movement for their anti-blackness, until you do that, don't worry about if a black woman or a black man or a black person in general is speaking up for a movement or not.
Beyonce winning Album of the Year after Jay-Z stood up on that stage the year before and bitched and moaned and complained that she has all these Grammys, she's the most Grammys ever, has never won Album of the Year. I will never, last year I wasn't going to forgive the Grammys for giving Victoria Monet newest artist of the year over Noah Khan. Okay, I've gotten over that since then. Victoria Monet seems like a very wonderful lady. Okay, but to give Beyonce Album of the Year, okay, when you had Billie Eilish, Sabrina Carpenter, Chappell Roan, Taylor Swift, those are the only other ones that I cared about. Sorry, I'm forgetting everybody else. And to give her Country Album of the Year when she didn't win a single country music award this year. Not a single one.
I wonder why she didn't win. Why she didn't win?
You're telling me over Lainey Reeves?
White.
I'm missing people's names right now. Chris Stapleton?
White.
I mean, Post Malone's album was even better than... I'm sorry.
White.
I'm sorry. The Beehive's gonna come for me, but I don't care. I've been staying quiet about it for too long. It pisses me off. And don't even get me started. I love me some Kendrick Lamar. But you're telling me that a diss track that wasn't even that serious...
To you.
And record of the... He swept.
As
for
he should.
A diss track. It was funny for the first time.
It was just like...
Drake is probably somewhere pissed right now, but then to win another one after literally all of the girlies have been slaying all year. Slaying.
So, did y'all notice what all the artists that she had an issue with winning had in common? And all the artists that she feel like should have won had in common? Every artist she had a problem with winning was black. No matter their talent. And every artist that she named that should have won was white. Taylor Swift. Listen, I know that the Swifties love Taylor. And I know that she puts on a spectacular show. But the talent is not... I'm not even going to get into that with y'all. But I just want us all to be mindful. They are literally losing their fucking minds about Beyonce winning. And to say that you are mad that Victoria Monet won new art... Have y'all heard Black Panther? If you have not heard... What? Victoria Monet's songs give you that head scratch. I don't know if y'all know what I'm talking about. Maybe it's just a thing people with ADHD get. Maybe it's like finally some endorphins being fucking released. I don't know. But Her music does that. And then you're saying that Jay-Z bought Beyonce the win. So why they didn't buy it before? They could have been bought it. They could have been bought it. Why they invited the CMAs? And to say, oh, she didn't win at the CMA, so how could she win at the Grammys? I don't know. Racism. Racism. Have you heard of her? You're showing it. It's like, no matter who wins what, if it is a primarily white category, if it's a white person in the category and a black person wins over that white person, they are in fucking arms. They are losing their shit. Last year, when a white band, a white non-Jamaican band, won for the reggae category, crickets. They weren't mad at that. They didn't come out saying like, oh my God, this is so unfair. This is so unfair. How could a non-Jamaican white band win Reggae Artist of the Year? Nothing.
Black culture means a lot to me. It really does. And,
Okay. In the comment section of your apology video, somebody commented and said, Beyonce is not a white. And you replied by saying, you're entitled to your opinion. So I know that you're apologizing, but I don't think that you truly mean it, because I don't think that you understand what you're apologizing for. We are upset with what you said, right? Because one, it has nothing to do with a conversation about album of the year. And two, okay, as a white person, okay, expecting a black woman to save the world is problematic. You kept saying that, the community that Beyonce needs to save, we are the victims of systematic oppression. Why would Beyonce have to fix that? In this apology, you also said you want her to do better. You are not apologizing for the right. What the fuck are you apologizing for?
You know, it took her 72 writers to write this album.
72.
Yeah. To put this into context, the last 3 Album of the Year winners, like Harry Styles and Taylor Swift, they had 5 songwriters, okay? Billie Eilish had 2.
Billie Eilish just had her brother. Like, she wrote a gimmicky album.
With 1 hit.
Yeah, it had 1 hit on it. You had Texas Hold'em that people eventually just had no time for because they're too busy having a brat summer, spending all their future earnings on Taylor Swift tickets while singing Sabrina Carpenter's songs and dancing at the Pink Pony Club.
Yeah.
Hey, it's me, Malika Dolajal. I just wanted to come and say that this is the HR department. This is the nosy coworker. This is the micromanaging boss. It's these people. They think they're cunning, intelligent, witty, smart, knowledgeable, crafty, and they're nothing of the sort. That read he gave at the end, like, ooh, you're sassy. It wasn't, what? But they think that is creativity, and are questioning the integrity of Beyonce's album and delayed win of Album of the Year. But it's not about Beyonce. You understand? When Tanner and Braley begin to start doing this about people like Beyonce, Barack Obama, Kanye, other black iconoclasts that continue to break barriers and records, it's not about them. It's about you and me. It's about denigrating people that we esteem because their success directly invalidates their mediocrity. Just know that is the HR department, girl. That's who's running HR. That's the people that are against DEI, because DEI means Beyonce wins. And poor Harry Styles and Taylor Swift, these phenomenal culture-shifting musicians, get stolen from. Know that. And happy Black History Month.
White women try to act normal, challenge level impossible. Watch this. Especially when it comes to Black women, white people, the reason that they struggle with DEI so much is because they genuinely view these kinds of wins as something that is taken from them. So even these young white women, right, that we all may be making the mistake of thinking that these young white women are woke, aware of and understand the political landscape, they understand the misogyny that we as women all face. What they don't understand is intersectionality, and what they don't understand is that Beyoncé winning does not take anything away from anybody. It just rewards her success. And this is the part that's really hard for white people to wrap their brains around. When somebody who doesn't look like them is rewarded for their actual and honest success, the way that Beyoncé has been. Every year that Beyoncé has lost, it's been like, oh, well, everyone that's nominated really is a winner. Like, it doesn't really matter. But this year, people are very vicious about, oh, she took this from Billie. She bought this. She could have bought a Grammy at any point, y'all. And even though Taylor Swift has won like 3 different Grammys, nobody ever accuses her of buying them. It's very interesting. She definitely bought it. It's because everyone is scared of her all of a sudden. Just this year, they all became so scared of her. So they finally gave her a Grammy. Like, y'all sound pathetic. Y'all sound like sore losers. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing to be sharing air with y'all. For real. It's especially for me, the people that are like, I never heard of it. I didn't even listen to it. But I don't think it should have won Best Album of the Year. At least have something valid to criticize about the album. But you can't. You can only say that you liked another album better. You can only say that you were more exposed to another album. And you should also think about why that is, right? And why that other album was by a white woman. And why you were more exposed to it, more comfortable with it, you liked it more. Think about all of that. Because for you to say, I didn't even hear about the album and it shouldn't have won in the same breath is crazy. And it's showing your ass a lot more than you think. Put it together. I didn't hear the album and I don't think it should have won. You have to pick one. Either you didn't listen to it or you didn't hear anything about it or whatever. Or it's so mid and it's so bad that this album shouldn't have won. You can only pick one. Or else we're just going to have to start calling a spade a spade. It makes sense that the people that are the most mad about this are mediocre white women because they are the ones that get the most triggered by Black women's excellence because they were promised that spot. White women were promised that spot if they just agreed to serve the patriarchy, to serve white supremacy. They're supposed to be rewarded for that, not the Black women, okay? And that's the mindset that's coming from a lot of white women right now. And especially young white women. And that is really embarrassing. It's very cringe. You need to focus on bigger and better things for yourself. It's crazy to me how so many people will watch their favorite artist literally say that Beyoncé is their favorite artist. I know that's something that Chappell Roan says about herself, and it's not true. This is your artist's favorite artist. This is if you were to ask, and they've asked a bunch of random musicians, producers, whatever, who is the best singer? And over half of them said Beyoncé.
Who do you think is the best singer alive?
The best singer alive? Beyonce.
It had to be Beyonce.
Beyonce.
I would say Beyonce.
Justin Bieber. There was one time we freestyled for hours and made 20 songs over the same beat.
Personally, I love the sound of SZA's voice.
I really want to honor Mariah Carey and the fact that she has like an 8-octave range.
We have Beyonce. We have Jasmine Sullivan.
Nobody else really got more than one vote. So she actually is your artist's favorite artist. We need to first of all get that straight. Nobody at the Grammys was mad last night that she won. So stop carrying water for people that don't need their water carried for them. I promise you, Billie is not upset right now. The way that Billie has spoken of Beyonce.
Some of the greatest artists of all time, like Beyonce, have made these visual albums. And I think she
gave
She
people
ruined it for us all.
the false
ruined it for
impression
us all.
that everybody could make a great visual album.
I know.
And so I think,
Everyone's always trying, and no one can
she's
ever do
made
it
like
like B.
3 in a row or whatever. It's crazy. So
The way that her and other musicians lined up just to talk to her at last year's Grammy. That should tell you everything you need to know about how Billie herself feels about Beyonce getting this award. I promise you she's not mad. Billie has her entire career ahead of her, and Beyonce's been snubbed for 25 years.
My Little Pony grew up. Are you kidding me? Oh, it's absolutely amazing. What an amazing night this is. It's just so lovely, everyone here. Everyone's donating.
We can have a conversation about which album of hers deserved it the most, but I don't think it matters. I believe that this album is no different. This is an incredible album. It's just very easy to forget how amazing somebody is when they constantly come out with amazing, complete, full, robust bodies of work. She could have done what your favorite artist does, but your favorite artist could never be Beyonce. I think a lot of mediocre white women are going to be upset about this because they want to see themselves represented. A lot of white women hate the excellence of black women. Once again, they were promised this spot, and they get so mad anytime that a black woman is given this award, which has historically been like twice. It's embarrassing, and y'all are telling on yourselves very loudly. Pipe the fuck down and let people celebrate. This has been 25 years in the making. This has been 25 years of consistency, 25 years of excellence, 25 years of bringing other people in. A lot of people said, oh, there's 67 writers on the album. Exactly. People don't understand. Even women that are like, oh, we need to live in a matriarchy. When they see a matriarchy in real life, they're like, oh, 67 writers. Billie would never. Exactly. You're right. Anyway, ladies, it's a bad look. It's also a terrible look to talk about how you've never heard of Cowboy Carter. And if you say that, we all know you're lying, by the way. We all know you're lying. Sad and pathetic. And especially the fact that once again, most of y'all are women is very disappointing. This is why at the end of the day, we don't have unity. This is why at the end of the day, we don't want to unite. We can't unite as women because some of us white women will be so quick to see injustice as soon as we perceive it even happening to somebody that looks like us. Then we see the injustice. She could have paid for a Grammy the whole time, but she hasn't. That's why y'all are mad, because she actually did deserve it over everybody else. Because this was actually a complex, robust body of work. Also, in typical white fashion, a lot of us are upset about this because we don't realize that they changed the pool of Grammy voters to be more women, younger, and to be more diverse. All of this anger, this misplaced anger tells me is that once again, white people have come to be rewarded for their mediocrity. They have come to expect a reward for not doing very much at all, for not putting in the work. Now they're upset when these awards are actually going to the people that worked the hardest, that have been around the longest, that actually deserve it the most. That's a lot of white people's real problem with DEI. Now that the pool is bigger, you have to do more. You have to be better. So stop crying and do what you need to do. Be better. Expect better. Learn to judge people on their merit and learn to separate yourself also objectively from these people. Because once again, I promise you, Billie Eilish does not care. Like most people, again, that are not you losers, that are even close to being Beyonce's peers, because I personally believe she has none, but most people that are even close to being her peers are happy for her. And you're not. So think about that. I feel sorry for you and I feel embarrassed for you. Please stop. Godspeed. Mwah.